Hello everyone, Hourglass Eyes here. Today I've got a little review of the maxace Banshee V2. I had the V1, so I'm going to be mostly talking about the difference between the V1 and the V2 and what I think. So let's start off with difference number one is the color scheme. So the V1 came in black, jade, red, and white, and that was it. Okay, the V2 comes in black, purple, gray, maybe blue, and pink. So the color options are obviously different. The V1 came with stainless steel spacers, which you could upgrade and spend an extra 20 bucks and get aluminum spacers. The V2 just comes with aluminum spacers right out the gate. So already, in my opinion, a better choice. The trainer blade on the V1 was basically a tuning fork. The trainer blade on the V2, yeah, it's just basically like a Tanto looking thing. It's got a little can opener. My cat's going crazy over there. Anyway, so the spacers are now always going to be the aluminum, which is better for flipping. It makes this thing a lot more balanced. The liners are solid, all one piece. There's no hole pattern in the liners. On the V1, there was a hole pattern like right around here that was cut out. So, still runs on ball bearings. Still has a spring latch. You just pop the two screws out, and I took out one of these so I could get the little pin that holds the spring out, and so there you go. That spring latch comes out all out like that. Little tap and a little play, but that's just because well, I'll get into that in a moment. The hell did my cat get? What are you doing? You tipped that thing upside down. Sorry about that interruption. So that's just about it for the differences between the V1 and the V2. So let's get into some of the cons of this thing. I'm going to start with the cons because overall I think there's a lot more pros than cons. So let's get the cons out of the way. Con number one, it's got a little bit of an awkward balancing. Okay. I tried it with the live blade and I tried it with the trainer. Right now I prefer it with the trainer, but it's probably a little bit better balanced with the live blade. Could be wrong. It just seemed that way after trying both the live and the trainer, that the live was maybe a little bit, whoops. The live was maybe a little bit more balanced, and that just has to do with the fact that these are a little bit of a heftier handle, being stainless with no hole pattern. But I don't know. I do like the way it flips with the trainer. Okay, so con number two, with this being a bearing knife, you can't torque all the way down on the screws and expect to have swing freely. And so what that means is that the screws, they always kind of just go in there just tight enough to be in there, which means that they loosen up. So this is going to be a knife you're going to want to Loctite, and that's another con. Because if you're not careful when you Loctite a bearing knife, you'll get Loctite on the bearings and you'll ruin the bearings. So yeah, you have to Loctite this thing so it doesn't fall apart. And then you run the risk of ruining the bearings. And this thing didn't come with any extra bearings or hardware like that. Okay? So let's move on to the pros. Pro number 1, this thing looks really good. Okay. Pro number 2, you get a trainer and a live blade if you buy this. Okay, that's big. That's big because not a lot of things offer that. Pro number 3, you get a nice case to put it all in. And pro number 4 is that they're really easy to work on. Okay? They're not like a rep where they are the pain in the ass to take apart and put back together. This thing was pretty easy to swap in and out with the blade styles. And see what I mean? Now it's all loosened up. Notice though it still flips really good even though it's loose. That's just how bearing knives are. They loosen up. Just thought I would show you what I meant. So with the screws torqued all the way down. Yeah, that bitch ain't moving. Yeah. So that's a bummer for me because I like the torque way down on my screws. I don't want to lose screws. Okay, so pro number 5 is definitely the sound. This thing sounds really good. I mean, for a bearing knife, it sounds really good. Okay. And pro number 6, we're getting a little out of controls with the pros here. Pro number 6 is, it's cheap. Oh my god. For what you get, for how good this thing flips and feels and all the stuff you get, 150 bucks really is not that bad. Now, granted, that does come with a Chinese length shipping time. We all know what that's like. AliExpress, which I believe you can get this on AliExpress right now. But in addition to that, you can also get it right from their website. So it has no problems doing tricks. It flips absolutely well. It's safe for cats. It's not going to hurt Anko if I happen to plop it on him. It might spook him a little bit. Well, I don't know. It might hurt him a little bit, but he'll live. Right, Anko? He wants to go in that room. That's a closet to nowhere. So, yeah. Honestly, I would say if you like G10 Bally's, pick this thing up. It's quite good for the money. You got really good color options. Oh, I wish there was a white. There we go. It'd be nice if there was a white so you could dye the scales other colors. But, yeah, I don't know. One thing that would be really interesting to see would be if the original Banshee V1 liners are compatible with this, because that might shed even more of the weight from the handles. But yeah, overall, I would say I recommend this. It's definitely a step up from the original Banshee. I do miss my original Banshee. I had a jade one. But yeah, this one is really nice. I like the pink. I like the way it flips. I like the sound. Only thing I really don't like is that whole screw thing. But I tightened it and see, it's right back to no tap, so it's not that hard. So, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, you know, YouTube junk, blah-de-blah-de. And as always, peace.